Welcome back to JT on the Go. Today we are going to visit the Hôtel de la Marine in Paris, France, established by King Louis XV to get this, deposit his royal furniture. Don't mind all the people walking around here because they're all going to see Paris' soccer team play. If Paris wins, then the whole city is going to be in chaos.
If you are taking the metro, the closest metro station to Hôtel de la Marine is Concorde, served by lines 1, 8, and 12. One of the station's exits takes you right to the front of the site. However, on the specific day we filmed, they closed off the station because the city was celebrating the Paris soccer team's first Ligue 1 championship win. We took line 12 to get to the site, and because Concorde was closed, we had to get off at Assemblée Nationale, on the other side of the Seine River, and walk 11 minutes back across the water to get there. The Hôtel de la Marine is one of the many sites you can find around the Place de la Concorde. The best times to visit are during the spring between April and June, or fall between September and October. Like many sites in Paris, the Hôtel de la Marine is also included in the Paris Museum Pass. The pass costs 85 euros for 2 days, 105 euros for 4 days, and 125 euros for 6 days. The narration for this specific site is quite unique. You use these headphones that feed the information directly into your ears. If you come with the bag, you can put it in one of the lockers and pick up your belongings after you complete your visit. The Hôtel de la Marine was designed by the architect Ange Jacques Gabriel and built between 1757 and 1774 on a newly created square first called Place Louis XV. To find the correct route, follow the signs and numbers starting with number 1. The site was named the Hôtel de la Marine after the Ministry of the French Navy took over the building following the French Revolution. This place actually served as the French naval headquarters until 2015. In this room, we see what looks like a piano. Small railings keep people away from the artifacts. Keep in mind that almost all the rooms here don't have informational plaques, so finding details about this place was challenging, and the only source of information was the headphones. As we continue, it is time to follow sign number 3. What we see in this chest is a pair of firearms. Let's move on. The Hôtel de la Marine actually opened to tourists in June 2021, not that long ago, after a 5-year restoration to return the interiors to the 18th century Enlightenment era. Now, it is a must-see heritage site. It is often described as a small Versailles, and that's exactly what I thought when visiting. As we continue, we are strolling through more rooms with unique treasures frozen in time. Now we're in a room that looks like a living space. After this room, we reached a dead end, so we have to turn around and head back the way we came. After coming out of that hallway, go to sign number 7 and head down that hallway to continue with this maze-like tour. The first room we are passing looks like a dining room. The next room appears to be a living room. The architecture of the Hôtel de la Marine is one of the many examples of the Age of Enlightenment. It is considered a masterpiece of 18th century architecture and a symbol of that era. Many of the rooms we passed, like this one, appear to be bedrooms. Now we are seeing what a toilet in this site looks like. The glass cabin with the green curtain looks like a bookcase.
These are kind of cool. This thing senses when you're in a specific room. It tells you the specific narration for the room, but if you go into this room, it'll stop this recording and start then one in there.
We are not at the front observatory yet that overlooks the Place de la Concorde. That will be at the very end of the tour. Now this is a restroom. And what you see here looks like some type of toilet or bidet. In almost every present-day hotel in Europe, you will find the toilet and a bidet next to each other. I remember filming selected hotels that have that configuration, like the Hotel Fontana in Venice. What we see here is an example of how the doors of lavish 18th century rooms can be hidden to blend in with the walls, just like the door Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette used to flee the country during the French Revolution. This room, which is not exposed to sunlight, was actually the king's sex chamber. There are mirrors in every corner so the king could watch himself with his mistress. Very interesting. Anyways, let's continue. We are now emerging from the themed rooms and entering rooms that remind me of what I would see when visiting the Palace of Versailles. The first is this room, which appears to have some modern touches with TVs that give you a fact or two. Now comes this hallway. It reminds me of the Hall of Mirrors in Versailles, where the Paris Peace Conference occurred. During the time the Hôtel de la Marine is frozen in, people had never seen anything as lavish as this hallway. Mirrors were a luxury at the time, and they would host balls here as guests danced to the orchestra. For rooms like this, sunlight did most of the lighting compared to the hundreds of candles. Much of the gold decorations, the candles, and the mirrors remind me of Versailles. This will be the route we take to leave once we finish. Now we are heading to the observatory at the front of the building. In the room you cross before the observatory, there is a TV table in the center with topics and facts about French sailors. Just pick a screen, a group, and a specific topic and listen in. The headphones will feed you the audio. One of the topics on the screen is about France's perspective and role in the Atlantic slave trade. Here is the observatory of the Hôtel de la Marine, which gives you a different angle and perspective of the City of Light. During World War II, after the Nazi occupation, the Hôtel de la Marine served as the headquarters for the Kriegsmarine, Hitler's German Navy. In August 1944, it served as the final stronghold for German soldiers before they surrendered to the Allies during the liberation of Paris. The window on the other end is where we passed earlier, which means our tour has concluded right here on this balcony. The Place de la Concorde is also the eastern end of the Champs-Élysées, Europe's grandest boulevard, which leads to the Arc de Triomphe. This balcony gives you a great view of the Eiffel Tower from a unique angle. The Place de la Concorde will be part of the Paris soccer team's parade route, and the fans partying all over the city left the metro system a bit chaotic, with critical stops like Concorde closed. The Hôtel de la Marine had a front row seat to the executions of Marie Antoinette, Louis XVI, and over 2,000 others in the square, which was called Revolution Square during the French Revolution, as the executions occurred on the Place de la Concorde. We came from that direction when working our way here, but to exit you go straight and down these stairs. Be sure to collect your belongings from the storage lockers before you leave. All these people are part of the crowd celebrating the soccer team's victory. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow on TikTok and Instagram for more. If you don't feel like traveling outside of Paris to see the Palace of Versailles but you want to see lavish architecture, come to the Hôtel de la Marine. Take care.